He ripped the HDMI cable straight out of my laptop. The screen went black and the whole room went dead quiet. My presentation, the one I'd spent 3 long months perfecting, ended mid-sentence. "That's enough," he said with a smug grin. "Let someone competent handle this." 30 executives stared, frozen, unsure if this was part of the show. It wasn't. He tugged at his tie, stepped forward, and started explaining my work like it was his own. Every graph, every slide, all mine. He'd memorized everything during our prep meetings, and now he was performing it like a script he'd stolen. I didn't say a word. I just stepped back, checked my phone, and smiled. One new email. Subject: offer letter confirmed. Base, $600,000, perfect timing. I slipped my phone away and whispered, "You just made this even better." When I first met Paul, he had that corporate charm, loud, confident, running on caffeine and ego. He'd been my manager for 2 years and always said we were a team. He called me the brain and himself the voice. I should have known better. People who call themselves the voice usually just love hearing themselves talk. The first year, he was generous with credit, made sure everyone knew my name. By year 2, my mentions got fewer. By year 3, they disappeared completely. I realized it at a board dinner when the CFO toasted Paul's leadership on the Phoenix project. Paul lifted his glass, smiled, and said, "Couldn't have done it without my team." He looked right at me when he said it, at me, not to me. That's when I knew this wasn't teamwork. It was strategy. The unraveling started quietly. He began scheduling meetings without telling me, forwarding client emails and replying before I even saw them. Then he locked the shared drive, said it was for efficiency. A week later, I spotted one of my reports rewritten in his tone, sent to the CEO. I didn't confront him. When you confront a thief, you warn him. And I wanted him off guard. So, I started my own encrypted offline folder, every report, every idea, every timestamp, and one more thing, an internal audit I kept for myself. Proof of my work. My safety net. The breaking point came during performance reviews. He sat across from me with that fake poker face smile. "You're doing fine," he said. "But leadership thinks you're not quite ready for the next level." The same promotion he'd been promising me for 3 years. I nodded calmly. But inside, something shifted. It wasn't anger, it was clarity. If the system was rigged, I'd stop playing by its rules. That night, I opened my messages. A friend from grad school, now a director at a rival firm, had reached out months ago. "Ever think about moving? We could use someone like you." I finally replied, "Let's talk." For 6 weeks, I lived to lives. By day, I played the loyal employee. By night, I built my escape. When they asked for leadership examples, I sent proof, every project Paul had stolen, with receipts, meeting notes, and version histories. When they asked when I could start, I said, "Soon." When they sent the offer, I said, "After one last presentation." And that's how we ended up here, the quarterly board meeting. Paul had insisted we co-present, though we both knew what that really meant. He let me speak just long enough to warm up the room, then swoop in to finish strong. It was his routine power trip. But today wasn't routine. He yanked the cable, took my spotlight, and strutted into his little performance. The executives watched him like a rerun they'd seen too many times. I stood quietly, letting the silence between his sentences stretch. He thought I was embarrassed. I was timing his downfall. Halfway through, my phone buzzed, an email from HR at my new firm, board approved. "Can you start Monday?" I smiled, perfect. When he wrapped up his speech, he turned to me with that same smug look. "Anything to add?" He asked. "Yeah," I said. "Actually." I stepped forward, plugged the cable back in, and my slides came back to life. The title read, Phoenix Project, Intellectual Property and Authorship Documentation. The first slide carried the company's legal watermark and metadata trail. Every document time-stamped under my name. A low murmur rippled through the room. The CEO frowned. "Paul, care to explain this?" He froze. Color drained from his face. I stayed calm. "I just wanted some transparency," I said. He tried to speak, but his words collapsed. He stumbled, sweated, shrank. The boardroom had turned into his stage of exposure. By the time security escorted him out, the only sound left was the soft hum of the projector. I packed my laptop slowly, checked my phone again, and replied to HR, "Perfect timing. I'll take the position. $600,000, a fresh start. Justice served. No shouting required." As I walked out, Paul caught my eye through the glass wall, red-faced, shaking, undone. I gave him one small nod. Not pity, closure, because the best revenge isn't loud. It's perfectly timed.